So just from an attack point of view, you have to buy a bunch of this underlining asset, pump it to the moon, literally the moon. You're going to have to buy, if possible, buy such a large amount that you're going to propel the coin 50 to 100x.
So he said, what would happen if they bought a shit ton of Hive? And then the next bit would, he didn't write this, but the next bit would be, and then try to take over the chain. So I'll let you answer this, Dan, because I know you're probably quite passionate about this. I've heard you talk about it in the past a few times.
Yeah, we've never actually seen a real money attack because the money attack has always been buy the Premine OTC for a cheap deal, which doesn't help the community at all. Well, on Hive, you'd actually see a true money attack. And I, for one, really welcome this because what this entails is, keep in mind, there's no Premine on Hive. You can't go knock on a door and say, hey, let me get some big OTC deal. You have to go to the exchanges.
Dan, I just want to clarify here, just so this is dead clear, right? What happened on Steam is there was a massive Premine sitting there that was under the control of Steam Inc., right? That is what was purchased by Justin Sun in a one-time, over-the-counter dodgy deal where he undercut the price of it and got a really sweet deal on all that Steam. And that then allowed him to attack the chain, right? That is not the case on Hive anymore. Yeah, I'll let you come back in, Dan.
Yeah. So, I would say I'm slightly incorrect in the terms that there's never been a money attack. There's never been a pure money attack. There was a small one on Hive that benefited the community because the people got the double dip. The people that got to keep their Steam, got to sell their Steam, and they had Hive. And at the end of the day, their Hive and Steam together were worth more than just their Steam was before the attack. So you would say, what kind of attack makes the victim richer? Well, attack me, baby, because I want to be richer. So let's put this on a full scale where they can't buy a Premine. Well, in order to buy, the big difference between proof of stake and delegated proof of stake is proof of stake, you only need 33% plus 1 to control the network. Where on the DPoS, you need 51%, right? So in order to get 51% of the voting coins, right, it has to be the voting coins, you're going to see a massive rise in the price. And
because they have to buy it on the market, right? They have to buy it on the open market.
Exactly. And as the price is being artificially pumped, as we've seen, once things start pumping, they tend to pump quicker because the books get thinner. There's not enough supply. There's a reason why everyone's not rich. It's because when the price pumps, people tend not to sell. If anything, they tend to buy more and hold because they think it's going to go up another 100x. As opposed to when it's being sold and being brought down, that's when people tend to sell. So just from an attack point of view, you have to buy a bunch of this underlining asset, pump it to the moon, literally the moon. You're going to have to buy, if possible, buy such a large amount that you're going to propel the coin 50 to 100x.
But it won't even be on the market, right? There's probably not even enough on the market to be able to buy that much.
Exactly. Theoretically, most likely you won't be able to have it because once it is seen that there is a clear attack happening, that would be when you start to see large amounts of stake being powered up. People would go on a buying spree. What happened when Justin Sun attacked? I was buying more Steam. Everyone I knew was buying more Steam. Everyone was trying to get as much Steam as they possibly could. So it becomes a red queen game where now you're competing. So we've already seen this in a live scale. The only difference is without the Premine, it's going to make the price go 50x. Well, okay.
Whereas Dan, with the Premine, the price didn't move at all because that was a behind-the-scenes done deal where it's just an agreed price where the Steam was swapped at.
Exactly. I mean, just a little bit of Steam that was sold and then doubled back in the Hive really helped boost the Hive market cap and the infrastructure in a decentralized way because guess what? You have a ghost chain where the VC, Justin Sun, was just buying all that Steam. So you actually had somebody to buy your toxic token, and then you got the double dip with your good token, with your good coin. So with this, it's just that on steroids. But let's say you did get this amount. Well, we would see the attack coming from a mile away because you'd see, oh, wow, 51% plus. Is, this person, if they get through, they're going to be able to control consensus. So we're going to actually freeze this at least the voting rights before we understand what's going on, because no one person should be able to vote themselves in delegated proof of stake. That is considered an attack. Now let's say they get through the month, we're sleeping at the wheel, and they just slide right through the month, and they get into consensus, and they take over the network. Okay, what did they really gain? Once we feel compromised, we know how to fork. We've had 26, we're going on our 26th hard fork. We're hard forking at mofos. We know how to hard fork. So we'll just hard fork again, cut out the attacker's balance, burn it. We don't need it in the DAO. And we go around our carry away and we all dump the other token. Well, let's say Justin sunned us and he took the major wallets of the whales. Okay, that's fine. There's a very large underling community that got 50 to 100x on their investment that they're able to dump. Because it's not like he can fork out 100% of the coins. Then what the hell? Then he doesn't have anything. It's like that's taking it to the extreme where it's not even realistic. 50% is really not realistic. You know, might target a few at the top of the wallets that he deems are threats. Still, the community is much richer, much richer, because they're able to dump that toxic token. They get the other token for free. So a money attack only serves to enrich the community that's being attacked. And you always have somebody to buy that toxic token because you have the money attacker. He's not going to just then let his coin go below the hard fork, the new coins. We saw Justin Sun try to fight that forever. Oh my God, Hive's worth more than Steam. I got to pump the price of Steam. So you actually have somebody who's going to market make your toxic asset that you could dump for 50x, 100x, whatever the price ended up being. Usually those people roll some of that back into the new coin, which propels it past the old coin because now you have selling pressure on the old coin and you have buying pressure on the new coin, and you don't have some centralized entity that's able to dump. So if you look at a money attack that way, I don't think anyone listening right now would be opposed. Who here would be opposed to someone money attacking and 50x in your coin? I don't think anyone would be opposed to that.
It's another one where I want it to happen. It's another attack where I want it to happen.
And the whales, it's not like the whales are dumb, right? If they see this sort of thing happening, they're going to dump some of their coins, right? Even on the 3-month power down before the attacker is able to get through if they feel threatened. So even the whales are going to be able to profit off this 50x if they have any kind of brain cells. You know, anytime a thing goes 100x, you're going to take some profit. So all you're going to do is enrich the community. They're going to fork, and now they're rich. They forked and they're rich. They're balling, and they're like, "Hey, come do that again. Let's play again. See how much money you have."
Here's the thing, Dan. To me, because we've been through this already once with Steam and Hive, right? And I feel like we're speaking. You know, I don't want to call like jinx this here because you know if we're doing this without having gone through the Hive experience. We might be jinxing ourselves, and we're not sure of all the exit doors and things like this. You know, all the angles of attack. But we've seen the attack. We've been through the attack, and we know this is how it works, right?
Yeah.
I don't see any other chain out there speaking like this because they all have to have cognitive dissonance on the Premine. They all have to have cognitive dissonance on the ICO that they're all sitting on. Right? Yeah. So they have to pretend, oh, that's okay. No one's going to offer us enough to sell this, right? But the thing is, what if, right? What if that happens? And my argument here is, I'm pro-forking all of your chains, right? I see the weak points in your chains, and there is an opportunity to fork the founders out of these chains, you know? Whether we do it tomorrow or in a few years, I don't know, but it's coming. Right, it's going to come because the technology that's being built with the base of Hive is superior to that of all these other chains with these ICOs and Premines. Right, it's like as a community, fork your founders out now, or someone's going to do it for you later. Right, that's where this is going.
I look at Vitalik as sort of like, all right, if you're an alien and you came to Earth and you couldn't breathe oxygen, now you're trying to convince everyone that we should try to breathe without oxygen. That's what he sounds to me when he says we should try this without coin voting. It's like you've come to Earth where you've come to where people voting, right? It's just people and voting go hand in hand, and you're trying to say let's try something different. I know this is how we're built and this is how we've always done it, and it's a fundamental key, like it's an element basically. But let's just try to remove air and try to breathe without it, and I think we'll have something better. And that's what you were saying. He has to have cognitive dissonance because it's like he has the Premine. So it's like in his world, air doesn't work. In his world, coin voting can't work. So he has to pretend it doesn't work and try to come up with some fanciful alternative where we haven't heard anything, we haven't seen anything concrete. ETH2 or whatever you want to call it is coin voting. So they're going into it coin voting. We haven't seen any difference. You see that a lot. You see a lot of these Premines are going on because Vitalik, you've had 6 years. It's a long time. I agree with block trades. One of the best ways to distribute coins is actually just the sale of them. But it's not Vitalik I'm worried about. It's more of Joe Lubin and all of these other side projects that have such large liquid Solana, all of these things, where they don't have coin voting's interest in best mind. Coin voting is cancer to them. They want to get away from coin voting. They want to find some other magic solution where they can keep their Premine and be safe. So that's the world we live in, and that's why coin voting doesn't get done any favors, because people have to play the game that it's bad because it's cancer to them. But coin voting is the only answer. That's the ironic part.